All right, hello world. Welcome back to Golf Subpar. Colt Knost, Drew Stoltz. What a weekend it was. We'll get to the Zurich Classic in a little bit, but a huge shout out to the 8 a.m. Invitational, Wynn Las Vegas, Justin Timberlake, everybody involved. We had an absolute time.
Did we?
I think we're a little tired, bud, but we're here. We made it. Team win, victorious.
Here you go. Touch me. I thought you guys showed a lot of heart coming back the way you did. I feel like some guys on my team with some off-the-course issues that we got to tighten up a little bit. I don't know their commitment level. You know, it's 24 hours a day to be ready to play, and I don't know that we got that full commitment.
We had a little two-day.
That fight really messed us up.
Two-day Ryder Cup format. Celeb versus celebs. We actually ended up having to play the second day. Some schedule changes, possibly some injuries. Guys. But a lot of fun, man. Can't thank everybody enough for having us, all the hospitality. Seriously, I've been to Vegas quite a few times. One of the most fun weekends I've ever had.
Without question. That was one of the most fun. Capped off with that night at Delilah's, the little impromptu karaoke contest where Travis Kelce did what he does best, which is just be on at all times. And he did what shook me all night long. That came out there, red suit. That guy didn't miss a beat. So on my side, we'll do this here. I'll give you my team MVPs for the week. I'm going to go co-champions here with Travis Kelce, Chandler Parsons. Those two, not a lot of brake pedal on either of those guys. And I don't know how many points they accumulated. Don't care. They were spectacular. On your side, you had some goers too. Give out your awards.
In my opinion, I also will do but respect to the host of the event, Justin Timberlake. Smart. Brings it nonstop. The man can sing, dance, play golf. I got the pleasure of playing 18 holes with him on Saturday. We dummied both of our matches, just absolutely wiped the floor with him. Sorry about it, but it was a lot of fun. And then the one, the only, never met him before, Jimmy Fallon. Man, I tell you what, you have just immediately gone to the top of my list as far as favorite people to be around. There is no energy like Jimmy Fallon energy. He's an entertainer. It's what he does, and he does not shut it off. I was so impressed with him. So much fun. Him and Justin have such a cool relationship. It was a blast to be around those guys.
The first day when you and I were only captains, before we became playing captains, we're like, let's go follow them around for a couple holes. First 2 holes of the tournament, I think they had like 9:15 tee times they went off. The amount of energy he used in 2 holes, like, you want to tell him he's got 16 more, and then all night, by the way, too. And he didn't need to be told because it just stayed right there. He was at a level that most people aspire to. But he remained there the whole time, and that was a hell of a time getting to play. You had JT the second day. I got Nate Bargatze filled in for Dr. J, so pretty cool treat. Pretty cool treat for Nate to get play with 2 guys like that in the same weekend. But damn, what a time!
Well, good news is if this media thing doesn't work out, we did find your new job. You're a stretcher of the stars,
dude. Yes,
everywhere. I'm not even sure how this all happened. I just remember I had my phone out and you were stretching maybe Chase Crawford.
Chandler Parsons.
Oh, yeah, stretch me, coach.
My new brother, by the way, Chandler Parsons. He's like, God, they finished, and you have a pretty long. They were like one of our first groups out, and they were one of the last in the second match. And so he had like 2 hours. He's like, dude, I'm so tight. I've been standing here. He like laid down. He's like, give me the hammies right here. So his legs over my head, by the way. Grabbed that thing, tighten it up, and then Jimmy needed a little hit. So I was just there. That's what good captains do. Zach Johnson, take notes. Your boys get a little tight. Sometimes you got to get in there and do the dirty work.
You stretched my team for me. I appreciate it.
See, that's what I do. I feel like we're all one big family out there.
I like it. But like I said, so much fun. And it looked like a lot of fun down in New Orleans as well. The Zurich Classic, the only team event on the PGA Tour, where Davis Riley and Nick Hardy are your winners, picked up each of their first PGA Tour wins. This thing looked tight, man. There was, at one point, 3 teams tied for the lead. And then all of a sudden, Davis Riley with the massive putt from off the fringe there on 17 kind of separated them a little bit. They were able to make par on the last and set a new tournament record with 30 under par.
Yeah, they played. Dude, the alternate, them especially, also Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin, they shot 63.
10 birdies.
Alternate shot, 10 tweets, including 7 in a row, which I'm pretty sure has never been done before. Maybe never will be done again. The caliber of golf on that final round in the alternate shot was unbelievable. They played so good. Your winners, they shot 31 on the back 9. A lot of low scores. I was watching, keeping a close eye on Team Hostler-Clark on that thing. Thought this might be the day they got it done. And they kind of do what you typically see in alternate shot, which is kind of stall out, hard to make a lot of birdies, a lot of pars, maybe messed up a couple par 5s, which I think was their undoing. But a lot of those groups at the end, I mean, Xander and Patrick damn near came back. They had a chance at that thing too. I think they've done a great job with this tournament. It used to be kind of a nondescript, individual event in the middle of the season where everybody's kind of dragging a little bit. Now the 2-man event, it's got a little juice to it, and it's fun to watch every time. And props to them. I mean, it's just like you get half the points and half the money, but you get that 2-year exemption, which is a bigger deal than any of that.
Yeah, and they weren't even going to play. Both of them were going to look like they were going to take the week off, decided just a couple weeks ago to team up, and good decision.
Smart
now
move.
They're PGA Tour winners. Like you said, 2-year exemption, 400 FedEx Cup points each, $1.2 million, I believe. They'll be at the PGA Championship, the Players Championship, and Century Tournament of Champions.
Yeah, good week for the boys. Nice late audible.
All right, well, let's get to our guest this week. This man is an absolute beauty. Mini Tour legend, Korn Ferry Tour legend. If you don't follow him, you need to. He's named the Cross-Handed Bandit because, believe it or not, he actually plays golf cross-handed. But this boy, he's from the dirty South.
Good Southern boy.
Yeah, Josh Broadaway, one of my favorites, man. I met him when I was a rookie on the Korn Ferry Tour. He is an absolute blast. We're going to get right to it. But before that, I think it's safe to say that these guys are everywhere, Sleaze, and rightfully so. The quality of the gear just speaks for itself. There's truly only one way to describe Rowback. Best fit, best feel. They are fresh off a restock of their Azalea collection, and trust us when we say you aren't going to want to miss out. We can't get enough of their performance polos, Q-Zips, which you're rocking right now.
Shout out.
And no doubt in my mind, it's my favorite hoodie on the planet, buddy. And we refuse to take the gear off because it's just that comfortable, and we're sure you'll run into the same luxury. Sleaze, hoodie guy, polo guy, Q-Zips, they got everything you want.
Joggers are crazy comfortable. You wear it on the course, go straight to the bar, wherever you like to go. Ladies love a fella in a Q-Zip from what I've seen. So good news on that. Don't even have to change.
All right, so use code SUB on rowback.com for a generous 20% off your first order. That's spelled RHOBACK.com. That's 20% off all polos, hoodies, and Q-Zips with code SUB. Make sure to check out their print polos. They will have you feeling good all year round. All right, here he is, Josh Broadaway on Golf Subpar.
All right, folks, this is going to be a fun one. We have the pleasure of being joined by not only one of the great talents in the game of golf, but also one in terms of personality. He's former Web.com tour player, and to quote his Twitter bio, one hell of a model American. We got Josh Broadaway here. How we doing, JB?
Good, man. How about you guys? Thanks for having me on, man. Looking forward to it.
I tell you what, JB, I get rather excited for these, but this is a whole other level right now. I cannot wait to dive into this. You and I have had some times over the year. You know, it's kind of scary to say you might be the reason I'm sitting here right now because you took me under your wing right when I turned pro, and look what happened.
He owes you, by the way.
You can't do that right out of the gate. I figured we were going to warm up to that. Look, it wasn't just me. Don't leave my boy Chris Cox out of this. You got to bring Coxie into this.
We'll get to all that, but
it
man,
took an army, by the way.
I can't wait for this. You're one of my favorite people. For those that don't know, I mean, your story is incredible. You're an incredible athlete growing up, played at Troy State, 232 events on the Korn Ferry Tour, 6 PGA Tour events. No big deal. It's fine.
Nice.
No big deal. But for those that don't know, the man hit every shot cross-handed, which is rather unusual, except for he has inspired the younger generation, I'm starting to notice, as you and I were talking about earlier.
Kids
chipping cross-handed, Matt Fitzpatrick chipping cross-handed. They noticed the phenom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's kind of funny. You talk about that like I texted you today. I saw kids chipping. I texted him immediately, and he had just finished his match. He texted me back. I'm like, what the hell's this? He texted back, what the hell's what? I said, you're chipping like me? I'm like, you're the best chipper I know. Now you're chipping like me. Good luck. Hope you get your resume ready. You're done, bud. You're not going to make it chipping that way. He's like, well, I chipped that one pretty good, didn't I? Of course, I sent back, man, it looked good, but I see some things we can work on. Why don't you go ahead and put me on a retainer, get me out there. We can work on some things, get a little money for the kids over here, and we'll get you fixed up. So, yeah.
I love it. Tell the people at home because, I mean, I think I've seen Patrick Welch in nowadays from the University of Oklahoma actually plays cross-handed.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, Welchie. So I'll tell my story and then I'll tell a little story about him, which is pretty cool. But so a lot of people don't know. I know you guys, or Colt's heard it a million times. Sick of it. I used to say I would carry a printout in my bag around, and when a media guy would ask me about it, I just hand it to you. Here you go. Look at this. This is the story, because every week somebody wanted to talk to me about it. And I'm like, I'm shooting 76, 74, missing the cut by 10. Why do you want to talk to me? Okay. I got to play better. And then we can talk about something besides my grip. Right. So when I first started playing golf, I was 5 years old. My grandfather taught me how to play the game. He lived on a golf course down in Rockledge, Florida, Rockledge Country Club. Bill Tanner was his name. So I would go down in the summers and play golf with him. Didn't have any left-handed clubs. All I had was right-handed clubs. And but from hitting baseballs and batting left-handed, that's just the first way I grabbed it and started hitting it. And we didn't have any money. My family didn't have any money growing up. And my grandfather was a really good player. And he kind of just let me do it. He had some what were those things called? Tour models back in the day, that were the knockoff club, like a ping, but it was a knockoff stuff. And so he kind of built me up a little small set of those, 3, 5, 7, 9, and off I went. And playing right-handed, but playing cross-handed. And he was always like, look, I'm going to let you do this until you get older. If you're ever going to be any good at this game, you're going to obviously have to change your grip. And so he kind of let me do it. Well, I got to be about 13, 14. I was, cross-handed. I could shoot 85, 80, 85, get it in the hole, putting lefty, And so about 14 to 15, he starts trying to bend my ear a little bit about, hey, if you want to pursue this at all, you got some good hand-eye, you need to turn your grip around. And so I would grip it standard and couldn't get it off the ground. Just worm burn, top, skull, whatever. Turn my hands around, just flush it. And he kind of get tickled and chuckle, So when he was there, I would practice this way, and I couldn't hit it, but I just keep doing it because I didn't want to disappoint him. He's the one teaching me the game and all that stuff. So I'm just, he would go play 9 with his buddies. Well, then I'm cross-handed, letting it go, just ripping it, And I'm like, screw it, this is what I'm doing. I'm going this way. So for those summers, I would go down there. Finally, I just kind of gave in. I was like, look, Papa, I'm not going to do it. This is the way I got to do it. This is what I'm going to do. And funny side note, a bunch of those summers playing golf, Adam Hayes, who caddies for Rom, his grandparents and my grandparents were best friends. So he and I grew up playing junior golf together, or summer golf down there at Rockledge Country Club a ton. So I noticed Hazy's made a pretty good career change from golf to caddying,
He's got a decent bag.
But anyway, it's decent. If you got to get one, I guess that's not a bad one to have. But great dude, love Hazy, obviously, but known him forever since we were, 6 years old. But anyway, so finally I start kind of figuring it out a little bit. Obviously, I played basketball, baseball, and golf all through high school. And then my junior year is when I really kind of started figuring out, like, okay, maybe I could. At that time, I was kind of thinking, I didn't playing basketball. I didn't shoot good enough, didn't jump high enough. Some other things that don't attain to basketball. And then baseball, I was a dime a dozen. I was a middle reliever, played infield, played outfield, could play, but I wasn't going anywhere. So I was like, well, golf's probably my only really chance to possibly go to college. So as my junior year progressed, going into my senior year, I basically I still played everything, but I knew I was going to try to play. I was playing junior golf tournaments in the summer, doing okay, nothing crazy, not really getting any attention, obviously. And so my senior year, I go through and really don't have anything, thinking about going playing like junior college or something just to try to get my name out there. And I get a visit to actually go to Georgia. And Coach Kopis was the coach then. And so I go up there to see him, and I talk to him for maybe 15 minutes. He's like, son, you're never going to play SEC golf gripping it cross-handed. I'll just tell you right now. You just ain't damn good enough. I'm like, oh, what I know. I'm some old redneck kid from South Georgia. I don't know. Man, obviously, he's a D1 golf coach. He knows everything. I don't know nothing. So I'm like, all right, coach, thanks. So fast forward, I go to the same visit with Coach Griffin at Auburn. He basically tells me the same thing. Well, he actually does me a solid, calls the coach down at Troy, Barney Burnett at the time. He's like, look, there's this kid. He's like, just listen to me. There's this kid that grips it cross-handed. He's like, he can't play for me. He could probably walk on and, we'll probably, maybe his junior or senior year, he may get a, few tournaments. He's like, but he could probably come down there and help you guys. And now at that time, Troy was actually really good. They had just gone to the East Regional the year before. But they were losing like everybody. I think they were losing all but one guy. Ted Midget was his name, from Tennessee. And that was the only guy they had coming back. So I'm like, all right. So Coach Griffin tells me that he's going to call him. Well, then Coach Burnett calls me. So I call Coach Burnett. He's like, yeah, come over. Let's eat. So I go over. We talked for a little bit. He watched me hit a few balls, and he's like, yeah, let's see what we can do. I don't have any scholarship money left, but if you want to come and roll, I'll give you a chance to walk on. All I wanted was a chance. I thought I was pretty good. I knew I can stripe it. I mean, I can still stripe it. I mean, I sell windows every day, but I can still flush it when I hit it, when I go out there, but I never go out there. But I couldn't get in the hole that good. I didn't putt well. I didn't chip well, which is probably what, held me back when I did make it professionally a little bit. When I played all those years, that's probably what held me back. But so anyway, so I go out there, go to college, get over there. We're over there. We got I think it's a 14. Is it 14? Maybe 10. I think it's a 10-round qualifier to make the team. Okay. So he's letting me walk on. So he's got the returning guy coming back. It's a senior, 2 or 3 kids that are like sophomores there, a couple other kids, well, 10-round qualifier, I win by the whole thing by 14 shots. I would just wax everybody. Well, all of a sudden, guess what? Well, I found a little book money over here, and now I might have found a food plan for you. Let's see what we can do for you here. So now all of a sudden, here I go. I'm like, hey. So I called my dad. That was a great phone call. Because mind you, I'm living in Georgia at the time, so out of state tuition, all that stuff. I called. I'm like, hey, finished up the qualifier. How'd you do? I won. Okay, they're sending us some money. Huh? Hell yeah, let's go. Super pumped. So start out, do that. Wind up. I finished second at the conference that year, and then the next year next 2 years I won the conference championship and go to the East Regional as an individual. Basically, just kind of figured it out when I got to college. I think a lot of it was probably I wasn't playing baseball, I wasn't playing basketball. I was just going to school and playing golf. And I was working hard at it, and then I kind of figured out, hey, look, I think I can at least give it a shot and see what happens. And then off we went. But speaking of Patrick Welch, I do have to tell this story real quick since we're telling my little story. I can't remember the exact year. It's been years ago. He was a young kid, probably been, I'm going to guess with him being, what's he, probably 21 or 2 at Oklahoma now, yeah. Something like that. So he was 13 when I met him. So he was probably 9 or 10. We're playing in Miami one year, Miccosukee, last term of the year before Q school. I play all right, but I'm not good. I think I finished like 71st, so I got to go to first stage. I fly to Dallas, and I get this phone call when I land Sunday night. It's this guy, and voicemail. Hey, how you doing? This is Mr. Welch, Patrick Welch's dad, blah, blah, blah. My son's playing, plays golf, plays cross, leaves me like this 4-minute message. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty cool. Talking about looking up to me, followed me my whole college career. I've been playing professionally for like 10 years now, and just on and on and on about, leaves me this great message. I'm like, well, by the time I get to Dallas, I think it's like, 10 or so. I'm like, I'm not going to call him tonight. So I call him the next day. We talked for a little while. Super guy. He's like, we're going to come see you at some point, hopefully next year. Well, at the time, they were living in San Francisco. And so fast forward, try to shorten this up, but fast forward like the next, I think it's like, I want to say like April or something. We're playing out there, Stonebray, and I'm playing pretty good. I'm in like probably, I don't know, top 10 or so going into the third day, and playing back 9. And there's this guy and this kid out there watching me. Well, I 3-putt like 12 from like 15 feet. I'm running warm, as you can imagine. Walk off the green. I'm like, I look at the kid. I'm like, hey. He looks at me. I just toss him the ball. I'm getting a new one. Go to the next. So I play. We get done. Long story short, I finished. This kid and his dad are standing in the tent, which happens, as y'all know. Hey, this guy gave us a ball. Let's wait. We're going to get it signed is what I'm thinking, And I walk out of the tent. They're standing there, and he's like, hey, how you doing? My name's Marty Welch. This is my son, Patrick Welch, that I called you and left you that message about. And I'm like, holy cow. So stood there and talked to him for probably, I don't know, it felt like an hour, but it was probably 20, 30 minutes. You know how that goes. Super nice guy. You know how dads are when your kid's 10 or 11. He's pumping him up, hey, man, he does this and he does that. And I'm like, man, I'm sure he's awesome. I'm sure he's a great player. But I mean, you think about it. I mean, I know me. I wasn't that good at 11 or 12, however old he was. I'm like, I mean, he's probably not that good, but okay, whatever. Well, then fast forward a few years, I turn on the. So we keep in touch a little bit. At the time, we did, and we kept in touch a little bit. And he sends me a text, "Hey, Patrick qualified for drive, chip, and putt." Right. So I'm like, awesome, man. Like qualified, like to go to the Augusta. Right. He's going to the deal. Not like at his local little club. Hey, I'm going to the next round. He's going to the show. He's going to heaven for a day. So I check in that Sunday morning. I pull it up. My wife's like, "Hey, we got to get ready. We're going to church. Whatever." I'm like, I'm not. If this kid's on here, I'm not going to church. I'm about to watch this. Pull it up. As soon as I turn it on, there he is. Wham! Smashing the driver. I'm like, oh my God, there he is. Wins it, right? Wins it for his age group, for his division. These people, my phone's blowing up like, have you seen this guy? He's playing cross-handed, this kid, And, a few people, I'm like, yeah, I actually know the kid. But most people, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm not really, I'm not name dropping the 14-year-old at the drive, chip, and putt, But I'm just like, I mean, super cool. So then we kept in touch after that. And, unfortunately, his dad had a massive heart attack a couple years ago and passed away. And reached out to Patrick. We still talk a little bit, not much, just here and there, text. I try not to bother him. Probably talk to Coach Hibble more than him. I just like to, send Hibble a couple texts to say, man, if he needs anything or any way I can ever help him, I just, love to see the kid do well. And, I'm not looking for anything from my standpoint. I just, I'd love to see him prosper and do well. And the kid can absolutely play golf. I mean, he's ridiculously good. He is really good, man. He really is.
Like you. He absolutely flushed it.
He hits it hard, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he hammers it, dude. Yeah, it stings when he hits it, for sure.
That's great. No, we want to talk about Josh Broadaway, though. We can talk about Patrick Welch another day. We got to talk about
Patrick
you.
Welch on the show, yeah.
All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about the start of your pro career, because one of my man's favorite things to talk about right here is the Jicky Jacks.
Nothing better, dude.
The mini tour days, traveling around, and back in your day, it was all around the casinos and all that. Traveling around with Chris Cox and some of the boys. Give us some of these favorite stories.
Well, let me scroll through these. We can't tell this one. We can't tell this one. No, man, you talk about some good times, golly. Looking back on it, I wouldn't change anything, to be honest with you. Were there times I probably should have been hitting balls instead of seeing how fast I could get 21? Yes. But you live and you learn. You're 21 years old, 22 years old, 23 years old. You're going to live forever. You don't think anything about any of that stuff, right? At least you don't if you're a dumb redneck from South Georgia. But so tons of fun. Traveled a bunch with Coxie, obviously. Randomly how I met him, but Blake Adams, me and Blake Adams, our crew way back in the day, like our original crew was me, Blake Adams, Vaughn Taylor, RP, Ryan Palmer. James Edmondson was actually playing golf then, who caddied for Palmer, now caddying for Riley. Who else was in that crew? Jim Arvanites from Chicago, John Paul Eber, Texas, and then Golf Channel stuff. So we had like a good little group there that liked to, work on our games, but we also like to get out and have a little fun. Go see what kind of trouble we could stir up. We've got some good ones. Dave Dyer, I don't know if y'all know that name, played a bunch of mini tours. He Mondayed a few times. He's from Arkansas. He actually posted a picture on Twitter about 3 weeks ago of that whole crew in New Orleans I think we were at Pat O'Brien's maybe on like a Monday night, and I was like, oh my God, look at this. And I took pictures and started sending it to everybody, and they're like, who posted that? And I'm like, I don't know, but I said Dyer posted it, but this is like, I mean, I look like I'm 9 in the picture, I actually have hair. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, man, the mini tours were fun. A lot of gambling. On the course, off the course. One time in a YMCA, me, Zach Johnson, Vaughn, Blake Adams, and Arvanites, we went to a Y in Augusta, Georgia. We got done practicing that morning. Let's go to this Y and play basketball. So we go in there. It's packed, people everywhere. They're like, hey, who wants to play basketball with us? We got 5. We'll play, We ran the place for like 2 hours. We played 7 games. We won every game. Nobody could beat us. So then they picked up like a little all-star team. Now, mind you, at the time, even then, we're out of shape, obviously. We didn't work out. Back then, working out was like forbidden. You may hurt yourself, right? So we didn't work out. We didn't do any of that. We worked out from 7 to 10 at night, 12-ounce curls. That's what we worked out in. Other than that, we weren't going to no gym, right? Yeah, well, allegedly. So finally they get this little team together and they come out and they beat us. And we're all tongue dragging, And of course, Blake, Blake likes to be a little quiet, don't say much, but he got pissed off. He's like, we're going to sit a game and then we're going to play all again. They're like, yeah, that's fine. Well, we sat a game and then we beat them 15-0 the next game. And we're like, all right, we're out. The golfers are leaving. Y'all have a good day, But mini tour life, man. Whew.
I heard Blake Adams actually blames you for how he played through all those years because y'all roomed together.
You can't listen to everything Blake says, okay? Blake don't know what he's talking about. Blake don't know.
He said first year not rooming with JB, I finished 3rd on the money list.
Once he broke free.
I don't know if that's any truth to that. Can we fact check that? No, I think he actually.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
I actually think he started taking lessons from John Tillery, and then he started playing good.
Hey,
I don't think it had anything
Josh.
to do with me.
Josh, we need a little basketball scouting report on the U.S. Ryder Cup captain here. I need to hear about Zach Johnson's basketball game.
You better get a hand in his face. He can absolutely fill it up. Yes.
Oh,
absolutely. Can absolutely fill it up. Yes. Can fill it up.
Golf dude.
Blake, same way. We were, none of us knew if anybody could play, right? So we're just like, are you any good? Yeah, I'm pretty good. Are you any good? Yeah, I can shoot. Okay, what? Well, next thing you know, we're in there like, we made like 3 trips down the floor and we're like, yeah, we're good. We're probably not losing today. It was so fun. So then like the next week, we're like, let's find a why. And we're all like still sore, like, let's don't do that. We're good. I think all we can do is go downhill from here, right? We can't go up. We've lost 1 game in 8. We're good. So yeah, it was fun. Let me see if I can find a Blake story I can tell. Blake's got some good ones. So I can tell this one. So wasn't that year, it was a different year. We're playing in Albany, Georgia, at Stonebridge Country Club, my home course. This tells you how my mini tour run went, okay? I think I won 3 or 4, but whatever. This kind of sums it up. We're playing my home course. I shoot 64 the first day, right? Leading by 2. It rains for 6 straight days. We don't play another shot. Cancel the tournament. Thank you. I'm broke as a joke. I could use the 25K. Not that I was going to win, but I like my chances on my home course, right? So they watched the tournament. So we leave. They actually wound up canceling it on Saturday. So Sunday, we go ahead and drive to Augusta. And we're playing at the River Club up there. So we get up there Sunday. We find a little spot. It's going to probably be our hangout. A place called Somewhere in Augusta. Little dive bar, got bar food, whatever. It's our spot. So we're having a few pops Sunday. Basically, Monday it's like 40 and freezing. That last part of the front came through. This is early in the year. It's like March-ish. It's like 40. We're like, we ain't going to the course today. What are we going to do? Let's go somewhere in Augusta. So we go, plop down. Here we go. Tuesday, it's colder and blowing. It's not raining, but it's colder and blowing. What are we doing? Let's go to Hooters, and then we'll go somewhere in Augusta. Yeah, sounds good, whatever. So Tuesday night, we wind up hanging out. It's now obviously the word spread. We got there's 60 people in the bar, 40 of them are golfing, right? So we wind up making friends with the people working there, and a couple girls. This is obviously a long time ago. I was single at the time. It's like 2000. Everybody calm down.
You don't got to put. Yeah.
So we're hanging out at the bar or whatever, and everybody at the bar that's working, it's like, hey, we're gonna have a party at our house. Everybody's welcome. Here's the place, here's the address, whatever. So like 12 of us go to this place, and you basically go. I'm not kidding you. You go past the gate to go in the Augusta National. You keep going down Washington, and then it kind of forks up to the right. Well, this house, some of the people that work there were house sitting for these people. So we go, and it hooks around back there. It basically backs up, I would guess, almost between Augusta National and Augusta Country Club, don't quote me, but somewhere in there, right? So go over there, everybody's partying, having a big time. They line up like 30 people there or whatever. Well, obviously I'm not driving. I can't drive. I'm like, I'm going to be smart. I'm just going to crash on the couch. Well, Blake had gone with some other people to another party. So the next morning I get up, I call him. I'm like, hey, where are you at? He's like, on the way to the hotel. Where are you? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, if you go past Augusta National, the road's going to kind of fork. There's a ramp that goes through. Just come that way, and I'll walk out and meet you. He's like, all right. He's like, I'm like 15 minutes away. I'm like, well, I'm not real sure where I'm at. So it's probably going to take me 15 minutes to get out there to where you are, right? So here I go. I'm walking out, getting my stuff. I'm walking. I'm like, man, I think this is it. And I take a left on this road, go, and I can see them, Washington out there. I'm like, yeah, this is right. So I go down, and I get down, and I'm kind of getting to the ramp. Well, at the time, Blake has this black and tan Eddie Bauer Explorer. There's 2 million of them, right? Well, Blake's got one. Got a Georgia tag on the front, Well, I'm standing there, and all of a sudden, I see this. Here comes Blake. Coming up the ramp. I'm like, oh, there's my boy. Heck yeah, coming to get me. So I see him coming. Well, I jump out in the road, and I'm dancing, got my shirt off, swinging it over my head. And I'm like, and as I'm doing this, I'm like, he ain't slowing down. What is he doing? He ain't slowing down. What is he doing? And right at the last minute, he brakes, and I kind of jump out of the way. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and it ain't Blake. It's some lady. And she's like, just looking at me, and I just gave her a, hey,
How are you?
Well, now here comes. It was the exact truck. I mean, identical, Georgia tag, everything. Well, about a minute later, here he comes up. But so now I'm standing there like this, and he's looking at me like, "What are you doing? Get in the truck." And I'm like, "I'll tell you in a minute, but you'll know why."
I just put on a little striptease for some old lady here in Augusta.
But exactly, she was looking at me like, "What is this idiot doing?" And I'm like, "That's Blake. I mean, it's got to be Blake, But
she probably still remembers
you.
So
See,
JB,
this is why
Yeah,
Jicky
she
Jack's are the
probably
best. This type of shit doesn't happen.
That's true.
Anymore. You got Ryder Cup captains playing basketball. You got strip teases on Washington. This is it.
So what I'm going to do is, because I don't know all the stories, just from sources, they've given me some topics, so we're just going to go through a few of them and see what you got. Okay.
You can throw it out there, and I'll see if I can expand for you.
Yeah. So apparently there used to be a pro, the Jack Slocum.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You and Coxie used to play together. You doubled the first hole as a scramble. Well, doubling the first hole as a scramble is rather impressive.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's ad lib. I think that got told to tell. I think that made the story better. I can tell you the story though, if you want to hear it. So
yeah, hell yeah, that's what we're here for.
So here we go. So I haven't seen my boy in God, who knows, 6-8 months. Me and Coxie. So I got to tell the how I met Coxie story, because that sets all this up. So we're playing a Hooters event in Tunica, Mississippi. It's a Saturday afternoon. I was playing all right. Sit out at the table. Couple guys. I knew one of them. I think Edmondson. I think James was there. James and Palmer might have been there. And Cox is sitting at the table, but I don't know him. And so RP says, JB, you know Coxie? And I was like, no, how you doing, man? I'm Josh Broadaway. Hey, man, Chris Cox, Well, obviously, we stayed together the next week, so we hit it off decent, okay? We like gambling. We like drinking, fun times, right? So I mean, Cox, so the next week, seriously, I'm not kidding you. We stayed together the next week. Then and he won the next week. And then he went to try to Monday for a tour event. I didn't know this guy. I didn't know if he was any good or not. I just liked the guy, right? And then I start Googling him. I'm like, oh, this is the guy that lost to Trip Keeney the year Trip Keeney lost to Tiger at Sawgrass. He's probably decent at golf, right? I'm like, yeah, never knew. He doesn't say anything. Him. He's like, all right, I ain't no good. I can hit it all right, whatever. Yeah, don't worry about it, Bubba. Don't worry about it, Coxie special. So fast forward. This is years later, after we've traveled many miles together. We're playing this pro pops up in Biloxi. And I actually think the first year they had it was in Pensacola, and we played together, and we finished dead last. And then we played the next year they had it in Biloxi, and we finished dead last again, but we won the fun term. Okay, you got to remember that. We always win the fun.
That's important.
Yes,
that's important.
So we get there. This was I'm trying to think because we played 2 of them and they kind of blend, as you can imagine, in Biloxi. So it doesn't matter. So Cox gets there the first night. Cox rolls in, and he gets there at like 10. I got there at like 5 in the afternoon. We're playing at Grand Bear, which is 40 minutes from where we're staying at the Grand in Gulfport, right? So it's a tote to get up there, really. And so he gets in. He's like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, "Blackjack, come on. I got the table. It's rolling. Let's go. Here we go." So he plays for him, and he had just driven all the way from Dallas. So you can imagine he's gassed. So he's like, "Bubba." He drank 6 or 8 beers. He's like, "Bubba, I'm going to go get some rest." He's like, "I can tell you're on your way. One of us needs to be, in decent shape tomorrow." I'm like, "Bro, we've never cashed here anyway. Why are we're starting to worry about it now? I mean, what are we doing with our lives, So I'm playing. I got it going pretty good. I'm doing well. He goes to bed. I keep playing. I got Garrett Osborne, Peyton Osborne are there. We got an awesome crew with us and having a blast. And next thing I know, my phone rings. It's Cox. In my mind, I'm like, "Hey, he's locked out of the room." Well, I look down and it's 6:40. He's like,
in the AM.
"Bubba," in the AM, correct. I look down at my phone. He's like, "Bubba, where you at?" I'm like, What do you mean? Where do you think I'm at? Where would I be right now? He's like, "I guess playing cards." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Dude, we tee off in an hour and 20 minutes. I'm like, "And?" I said, "We got plenty of time. It's only 40 minutes up there." So he tells it as he says he rolls over, his alarm goes off at 6:30, and he rolls over and he looks over there at my bed and it's just perfectly made. And he's like,
Hadn't been touched.
Oh boy. So I was like, "All right, I'll color up." So I get my chips, I go upstairs. He's like, "You gonna shower?" I'm like, "No, let me throw my clothes on. We're good. Let's roll." So we go out there, we get out there. I had done pretty well that night. Well, he tells it. Some of this I'm a little foggy on, as you can imagine. He says I'm just rolling down the driving range. Just, "Hey, y'all want to play us 20 a hole? What do y'all want? 50 a hole? 100 a hole? Who wants some of this? Y'all want some of this?" Finally, he says after about 50 minutes, he's like, "Bubba, you got to stop." He's like, we've got about $2,000 exposed on a hole, and you're not even going to be able to hit the ball. He's like, "You've got to stop making bets." I'm like, "Bro, we'll be all right. Don't worry about it. We're good. I'm going to be fine." He's like, "You ain't fine, cuz. You're not fine." And so we get out there. We didn't double the first hole. We bogeyed the first hole, but I made a divot before my ball on the tee with the driver, and I made a divot after my ball on the tee with the driver. And he said, "Is this real life? Is this happening?" And I said, "Yeah, it's happening." He said, "What can I do to help?" I'm like, "We need some beer. That's the only thing that's going to help." Sure enough,
got to get right back on it.
Comes by. You got to get back in the game, right? Which I think I shut it down for an hour, maybe, just to get out there and all that fun stuff. So, long story short, we actually shoot 61. What did we shoot? 61? Yeah, I think we shoot 61 in the scramble. And I think the low was like 13 or 14. So we basically broke out of our bets. I think we lost a couple to the bigger ones we had made, whatever. But I made a shot from the fairway on like our 15th. Oh, he's like, "Did you just do that?" I made an eagle on a par 5 on my own ball, basically. But it was a good time, man. We had some fun at the old Pro for sure.
I like the story of the double. The double as a scramble.
The double does
let's go with
add
that.
to it, but
Let's go with it.
like
Yeah,
bogey.
that's the best. That's the best.
You shot 61 with double on the first.
Yeah, that sounds better. The best was the next year. The weather's supposed to be bad the last day, and we've cashed it in. We're beating like 2 people, and it's like 9 at night. We're firing at them, and Cox is busting them. And I said, "Well, what time we going to bed?" He said, "I ain't going to bed." I was like, "Bro, we're second group off." He's like, I said, "Are we intending to play golf?" He said, "I never intended to play golf tomorrow once the day ended." I said, sounds good. So Palmer and James were there that year playing in it. And Palmer said, we'll come by and knock on your door. I was like, you do that. You do that. So we didn't even show the last day. But so this trip, I actually went to bed, right? Well, it's like I have no idea what time it is. I'm laying in the bed. I got the lights off. All of a sudden, I hear the door open. I know it's Cox. He comes in. Hey, bow, 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 bow. I'm like, what, Cox? He's like, what time is it? I'm like, and I'm laying facing the window. I'm like, I always slept in the far bed. I'm like, Coxie, I don't know what time it is. He's like, what time is it? I said, Coxie, I don't know what time it is. It don't matter. Go to bed. He said, I ain't turning these lights off until you look at the clock and tell me what time it is. I'm like, whatever, dude. And I rolled over and he had hundreds stacked in front of it. You couldn't see the clock. Banded, 10,000 banded. I was like, ah! I woke up. We jumped around the room. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome. We have he and I have so many. Yeah. What time is it? And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, bro, I don't care what time it is. I've been drunk for 3 days. Do you think I care what time it is? And then finally, when he said, I'll turn the lights off, and I looked over there, and the hundreds were just banded up over the front, over it. I was like, so good. It was so good. Me and him have some great casino stories. One year we played a Emerald Coast little individual tournament. What was that guy? Jack Slocum still the same deal. Jack Slocum deal. And we're both playing all right. And those little things, the individual ones, you probably don't have 15 guys or whatever. Well, Big Daddy, Styles Mitchell, God rest his soul, and Derek Brinker were there playing in the tournament. So, anybody that knows Brinker knows he loves to gamble, right? So we haven't even started that morning. He's like, you boys want to play a little E9 afterwards for some scratch? And we're like, yeah, I mean, sure, why not? Like, we'll do it. So we get done the tournament. Me and Cox go play him and Big Daddy. And Brinker at the time wasn't playing much golf. He was just getting back into it. And so he's like, I'm not playing very good right now, whatever. He's like, I'm going to need a shot. I'm like, Brinker, we're not giving you a shot. I mean, we're going to either play or we ain't. It ain't that big a deal. He's like, all right, we'll play your heads up, but that's uphill for us, whatever. But we're not playing for anything crazy, like $100, whatever. Well, we rough them up. Well, I think we win like 500 or 600, whatever, because Brinker's going to press, as you know how that goes. So, me and Cox were going to, that finished on a Thursday. We had a plan that we were going to go to Biloxi and stay at the Bow because Coxie was going to Friday. He was meeting some friends in New Orleans. He's like, well, it's on my way home. And I'm like, well, Pensacola to Biloxi ain't but an hour and 20 minutes. Like, I'll just go over there for the night and then go home, right? And this is moons ago, right? Single, don't have a care in the world. So we go over there. I used to have a buddy that was a pit boss there, and we used to get rooms for free, food for free. I mean, it was an awesome hookup. All I did was take him balls, hats, gloves when I got some, super cool guy. Anyway, so we go in there that night. We are killing them. I mean, killing them. And we're sending it. I mean, not just gambling, sending it. And I'm sitting there, and I'm broke. I got like $600 in my checking account, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm counting. And I got them stacks of blacks and counting like this. I said, Gotcha. I got 8,000 in front of me. He looked over there. He said, no, you don't. I'm like, count them out. I'm like, I got 8,000 in front of me. I got $8,000. He's like, no, you don't. I count them again. This is late in the game, He said, you got 8,000 on the table. He said, look in your shirt pocket. And I had on a button up, and I looked in my shirt pocket, and I had 2 orange chips, 5 G's each. He goes, you got 18,000 in front of you. I was like, oh my God, I do. that was my best. That was my, yeah, exactly. Well, you know how that goes. That was my best run. Wound up leaving. We shut it down the next morning, or that night, morning, whatever. I think I went home with 11, which I felt like was a win, Started with $200, turned into 11. It's a pretty good run. But man,
I thought in Panama one year you had a bigger run than that, because I thought I ran into you the next morning. You're like, Junior, I finished third last night.
I did. I popped them in Panama for I think 26 or something. And so it was stupid, dude. Yeah. It was absolutely stupid. I could not lose a hand. And I'm trying to bet, and they wouldn't let me bet with 500 in hand. It was that hot, and they were like, "No, no mas, no mas, no mas." All I could bet was 500, and it was ridiculous. I had like 12,000 in the room in the safe, and then I had like at one time they said, I don't remember. They said I had like 32,000 on the table. Of course,
Yeah.
That's more than I needed. I needed to bring it all home, but
that's the best
man,
casino though, because that's the best casino because those dealers there, they didn't speak the best of English, and they could even draw out to 21, and you would just go "Bente dos," and they'd be like, "Oh shit," and we'd all celebrate.
Really?
They'd pay out.
You just cheer.
Yeah.
You just cheer that flip 21.
Yes. One of the best one I ever learned it from was Guy Boros. My rookie year there, 03, we're playing, and he's like, "Look," she turns over about 6 cards, and it's 21. Just say, "Yeah." And I'm like, "All right." Sure enough. 2 minutes later, she turns over like 6-card chuck, sticks it to us, it's 21, and guy goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." She pays the tape.
Yep.
Well, they caught on to that pretty quick. Finally, they sent somebody in there that could count, They catch on
that
to it
doesn't
pretty
happen
fast,
in Vegas as much. It gets late in the game there, and they start flipping, hit, flip. I'm like, I don't even know what I have, but they seem to be pretty dialed on their math.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
It's amazing how many of your stories involve casinos and gambling.
I think I love you.
Yeah, I like to gamble a little bit. I
gotta ask you about.
I have to. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go. If you're going again, keep going.
So I got it. I mean, Junior, we got to talk about when we were partners in Panama, don't we? When we took down JT and Malley. I mean, that's
killed him.
Oh my God!
Really?
Bro. Tell me anything involved beating Malley.
Oh, dude, this was so good. So I see Colt on Tuesday night or Monday night casino, and I hadn't really seen him. I've seen him in passing at the course or whatever. I hadn't really talked to him, and I see him at the casino, and he's like, "Hey, you got a game tomorrow?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You're my partner." I'm like, "Who are playing?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. Just be there. Get on the 7:00 bus." I'm like, "Okay." So get on the 7:00 bus. We go. I get out there hitting balls. I'm like, "Who are we playing?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. Just be at the tee at 9." I'm like, "Okay." So I don't know anything, So I get there. I'm on the putting green. When I start looking at people, I'm like, "Well, I'm pretty sure we're playing Mallinger because he likes to gamble." And I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't really spot anybody else that we would want to hang out with and have fun with. So I'm like, I don't know. So we start going to the tee. Well, then this little squirt comes walking up there, 140 pounds soaking wet, with his Alabama logo on his bag, Mr. Justin Thomas. And I'm like, "Oh, look at here. Here's the guy. This is the kid right here. This is supposed to be the next thing. Okay, let's see what this is all about." And I look at Colt. I'm like, "He pretty good." And Colt's like, "Yeah, we're going to have to play." I'm like, "All right." So we start talking, whatever. What's the game? Whatever. And Colt's like, "Let's just play $50 one downs." And I'm like, how much cash do I have with me? Okay, this ain't going to be good. Maybe I can cash a check at player banking when we get done. So long story short, first hole, you get like 5-iron and a wedge or 9-iron or whatever. The second hole is like decent hole. It's like 420, big bunker down the left. Well, this was, how long ago was this, Colt? 08 or 10 maybe? 10 or was it that long? No, it was probably
it was that long.
JT's only year. 13?
Probably like 11.
Yeah,
12,
maybe like 11 or 12.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, yeah. So we get on, somebody hits a 5-iron and a 9-iron. You don't really, you can tell you got some speed, but you don't really know. And so we get on the tee, and JT's like, "Where'd I hit it here?" And Colt's like, and the wind's always blowing straight southwest there, thumping left to right. And Colt's like, just take out that bunker and hit it. And I'm like, "What, you gonna hit it in the middle of the bunker?" It's like 298 to cover, He steps up there, his little wide one, hits this thing. It sounds like a 270 went off. I was like, and right before he got ready to hit it, Colt just kind of looks at me and smiles and like basically, "Watch this." And he hit this thing and it went, and it didn't sniff that bunker. He went down there. I'm hitting I got like 140 in there, and he's chipping it to the hole. I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Well, he could probably hit it far. I'm sure he doesn't chip putt good. It ain't that big a deal, Well, about 4 holes later, it's this chip that I was like, it's saying, get, locks up. I'm like, all right, so this kid's good. Okay, he won't get used to. You better enjoy seeing him this year because he's gone. He's out of here.
Yeah, fact.
He's out of here, and he was. But so I rode my man Junior here like Seabiscuit that day. I played like a goat. I think I made like 2 birdies all day on holes of par 5s. I think everybody made birdie. Colt's beating them to death right by himself. So long story short, we're get on 18. We're up 400, 300, 300, 300, but we're playing for 700. Okay. You know how that
Ballinger,
works.
of course.
Ballinger special. I'm like, we were up more than that. And then they won like one hole. And now I'm like, okay, so this is great. We've lost one hole and now they're going to beat us on 18 and I'm going to lose $400. This is bad, So we all hit it. Ballinger hits in the right rough. I remember this like it was yesterday, mainly because my son asked me all the time. He's the biggest JT fan. And he's like, Dad, tell me about that time when y'all beat JT. Tell me about that time when y'all beat JT. So I love telling this story. And so I think us three hitting the fairway, Ballinger hitting the rough, he hitting the front bunker. Well, Colt hit it like 30 feet, like 25 feet, and JT hits it like just out of like about 3.5 feet. And I'm like, my God, we just freaking lost $400, lost 2 holes all day, and now we're losing money. I'm so mad, right? So we get up there, and that year, if you remember, Junior, the greens were not good that year. Usually they were perfect there, but that year they were rough. You remember that? They were all beat up. So
your memory is incredible. Yeah.
Well, I do have a good one.
I think you're a genius.
I'm not that. Trust me. My wife will be here in a minute to tell you that. But so we get up there, and me and Colt are kind of almost the same distance, but I play super fast. So I'm like, I'll go, Junior. He's like, yeah, go ahead. Well, I bang this thing in. It's going Mach 2, hits the back of the hole, jumps straight up, bloop, right in the middle. Colt's like, yeah, we're high-fiving, going crazy. So then JT just puts his ball down. And Colt's like, what are you doing? Colt's like, it's my putt. He's like, if I make 2 beats 1, we've been playing 2 beats 1 all day. Your putt doesn't even matter. Colt's this incredible putt, just burns the edge, doesn't go in. So now he's got this 3.5 footer, and Colt is just Needle City. Just, oh, Mr. All-American, let's see what you got, Mister. Let's see, I'm about to win everything.
Doesn't sound
he's
like
just
me.
hammering him, Jay. Oh, yeah, it's similar, but different. So he's up there. JT, of course, is kind of giggling, shakes it off. What do you know what he does? He just buries it right in the middle, But, yeah, that was my claim to fame. We beat Mally and JT out of $300, and I was with Cole probably with Swindell probably 2 or 3 years ago, and he randomly FaceTimed JT and he answered. We're sitting at this bar, and he just pans the phone over at me, and JT's like, JB, what's up? Like this, and I was like, I still got your 300, and he's like, yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
Good thing I think he overcame it.
Yeah, he's done all right.
He's doing all right. What do he win? 15, 16 times, something like that. He's doing okay.
FedEx Cup, no big deal.
He's gonna be all right. Couple majors.
You know what I took away from that story? I heard about how you played the hole. I heard about how you played the hole. I heard about how JT played the hole. I hear shit about where Mally was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mally wasn't in that hole, it sounded like.
Mally hit in the rough, hit the bunker, blasted out, and scooped it, picked it up. And then I think Friday Ballinger was winning. I think Ballinger was winning on Friday.
He probably brought Jordan Spieth
but
next week.
Typical Mally, though. I'll take Justin Thomas.
I'll just take, I got a partner.
No big deal.
Yeah. I'll get Jordan next week.
We got a million stories to get to, but we don't have a million hours. I just got to ask you one, because I promised this legend I would ask about Sushi in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, God.
I have no idea what this
sounds like a good place to get sushi. It's right by the ocean.
You talked to Benny Bates.
Yep.
Oh my God.
You don't have, if the story's bad, you don't have to tell it. But I have no idea what it is.
It's not bad. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. So Benny. So there was this guy apparently. There was this guy back in the day, long before I came along. As you know, I kind of hung out with the older guys the longer I stayed out there. On the web.com, nationwide and web. I mean, I played it so long they had like 3 name changes. That's how long I was out there. That's not good for those of you scoring at home. That's not good. You don't want to do that. You want to move up. You want to move on to the next stage. That's what you want to do. You don't want to make a career out there. But it was fun while it lasted. So there was this guy that played apparently back in the day named Don Wadsworth, I think is his name. I've heard Benny tell this story a million times. But anyway, he had a little bit of this. He had a little loopholes in him. He'd give a little bit of this every now and then. He has some things that would, kind of stretch out on you a little bit, and some things of that nature. And so they would always talk about how Don talked. And he knew it, and like he would, like people would pick at him, and he would go along with it, and on and on and on. So we're in Springfield, Missouri, and we're on the truck one afternoon on Tuesday. It's like a Tuesday afternoon, and everybody's shooting the breeze and having a beer. And I think Goose, Jeff Thomas, the leader of the truck, says, "So what you boys doing for dinner tonight?" And Benny said, "Oh man, I don't know, Brody. What you want to do?" I said, "I don't know, Benny. Whatever. If they want to go somewhere, we'll go. This that." And goes kind of back and forth. And then he said, "Man, we ain't had no good sushi in a while. Let's go get some sushi." And this guy, who's a volunteer, I guess, is in the front of the operations truck, and he hears us say sushi, and all of a sudden he comes out of the front room, and I'm like, "Who is this dude, and what is he doing?" And he said, "Did y'all say sushi?" And I'm like, and Benny looks at me, and I look at him, and Benny said, "Yeah, we did." And he said, "Let me tell you something. They got the best sushi here in town. What you want to do is, here's how you get here. Here's the direction. You go south on Glenstone, you make a right on Sunshine, and the sashimi is excellent." And Benny goes, "Are you serious?" Right back to him, and I went to the ground. I was crying, pouring tears, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm just telling you, man, it's something else. You got to experience it. It's just phenomenal." And he's going on and on, and Benny starts talking back to him with the list, saying it just like him, and the guy ain't checked up yet. For 5 minutes it goes on, and I'm like, I'm about to throw up. I'm laughing so hard. I have to walk to the back of the truck, and I come back up there, and the guy finally kind of calmed down, and Benny looks at me, and he makes eye contact. He goes, "He's serious." Like that. And I lost it again. The back of the truck I went. I was hysterical. I was hysterical. And it really, it was one of those you had to be there, but if you've known all the stories over the years of Benny doing Wadsworth, man, it was hysterical. It was so funny. That joker is a beauty. He is a beauty.
Well,
we had some fun
20
together,
minutes.
man, that cat.
It took us 20 minutes to figure out how to get your Zoom camera and audio on. How long do you think it'll take us to get him to get it set up?
No, he's highfalutin, big man. He's big time. I'm just so
highfalutin. Nice.
He's a little fancier than me. He's highfalutin. He's a big deal.
Good pull. Good word.
I
don't want it to stop.
I know it's never gonna stop. We have to save some of these.
I got is basically a story, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So
it ain't stopping.
We have to save some of these for in person because I think that'll make it even better when we can all have a cocktail together. But we got to get to the E9 because we actually do have a time we have to go through.
I got you. No worries.
We're gonna go to the E9 here, and we asked this to everyone. You can be anybody for a day, dead or alive. Who would you be? Kirby Smart when you're beating TCU's ass this year.
Hey. Don't you start, Josh, dude. I've had enough shit. I've realized I know more people in Georgia than ever before in the last month.
I just quit talking about it. All I do is just order that shirt that Kirk had on at TPC last week. I'm like, that says enough. 65
There were some spotty calls. We were just starting to right the ship when that thing ended.
Yeah.
One more quarter, we put that thing.
Well, the crazy thing is you're a busted coverage away from not scratching. It'd have been 65 to get them.
Hey, a couple bounces away.
My coach when they say, "What's the score?" and they say 21 to get them, he said, "Get them? What do you mean?" He said, "Nothing." They just said, "All right, get them." That's what it was the last time they took off. You had 0.
Yeah, I was there. It was painful. If Stetson comes back for that 13th year, y'all going to be tough.
I hope he does. Hey, I'd sign him tomorrow. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't he, right?
Why stop now?
Don't be mad at Georgia. Be mad at the NCAA.
He could be a doctor. He's going to be all kinds of the shit. He could be a lawyer. He go back and get that degree. He could just keep playing. Another couple COVID years. Another pandemic.
What's funny is everybody said Stetson wasn't any good, and then he started winning, and then they started blaming on him being old. Well, he's so much older. Well, 6 months ago, y'all said he sucked.
I never said he sucked. I didn't pay enough attention.
You can't have it both ways.
He's going to own every car dealership in the state of Georgia. And he's going to make a bazillion.
At least.
A bazillion.
He's going to be all right. I don't think he'll buy.
Yeah,
he probably won't buy a meal, a drink, anything when he hits Athens. Well, I don't think so. Anybody, say it again, Junior. Anybody for a day, dead or alive?
You get to be anybody other than yourself for a day. You could be Cole Swindell and Heads Carolina hit number one. I mean, whatever you want.
I've been with him when some of them hit number one. It's a fun day, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it is.
This is going to be a little probably off the cuff, but I'm gonna say my grandpa. My grandpa was probably the greatest man I ever knew that provided for his family and lived a great full life. Loved to hunt and fish, and I'm gonna say my grandpa. That's probably not the answer y'all thought you'd get, but I'm gonna say Josh Broadaway is what I'm gonna say.
That's the most heartfelt answer. Mm-hmm. The most heartfelt answer we've ever had. Showing another side of Josh Broadaway. I respect that. I was going to ask you this during the regular part of the interview, but I'm going to switch it up, ask you here. I say the name Clint Keown. Yep. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
If he tells you he can ring a basket, go the other way. He can do it.
Give me one story or your first encounter with him or first thing you heard about him, because this dude's legendary for some of the shit that he gambles on and hustles people.
Yes. So I met him. The first time I met him was at an Emerald Coast event. I think I might have met him in Evansville first. I think I met him at an Emerald Coast event when he first started actually like saying, I'm going to try to play golf, and he came down there. I mean, he had just started. I think he played in the thing and he was trying to get all these bets. Well, I had heard he was a hustler. So I'm like telling people, I'm just telling y'all, I'm not playing him. He's probably not going to, it's in the tournament. So, he's going to be trying probably, and he's not probably going to beat us in the tournament. But, I'm just telling y'all, be careful. This guy, he's trying to set you up, but so that's the first time I met him. Then I met him, I actually called Brinker about him, I think. And Brinker told me, he's like, dude, that guy, he's like, he said he's a 20 years younger than me, is what Brinker told me. And I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know. So one year, we're in Evansville, and he runs into there's a little bar there. I can't think of the name of it. Restaurant, nice restaurant, but like a little, like not too over the top fancy, but like you could go straight from the course there, whatever. A bunch of the reps were in there. I'm not gonna say any names because there was several of them in there, and they all took the bait. But so
I'll say them.
I know a few of them. Yeah,
yeah, you probably did. Some of them are my buddies. I don't say anything. But so they're there, and I get this text. I'm staying with a buddy of mine at the golf course out there, and I get this text at like 10:40 at night. Do you know Clint Keown? We're on the way to this gym to watch him shoot basketball. We're betting him $2,500 or something that he can't make however many out of 50. And I sent back, y'all are stupid. And he sends back, no way he can do it. I said, if a guy has a key to get in a gym at 10:40 at night, this ain't the first time he's done this, boys. Pay attention, please.
So the key is actually a very key part to that story. It's like,
yes,
he told you I could do this. Then you're like, oh, I can probably get in the gym. And then he has a key to get in.
Oh, look at here. Shocker.
I'm out. I don't want this bet anymore.
Exactly. So long story short, he got him. He got there. But then when he got there, from the story I heard, is he told him, so couple, certain rules. You can't scream at me. You can't holler at me. You have to sit over here. You have to be quiet. You have to watch. Well, what in a little bit of the key is he actually takes air out of the basketball. So, yeah, he don't just grab a ball and start shooting. He takes air out of the ball. So a lot of the shots from the top of the key, he uses the backboard. And, so you can imagine it's got less air in it. It's, falling in there. But, not like he's not shooting a flat ball, but he takes air out of the ball. He does. From what they said. Now, I haven't seen it personally. I kind of like the guy. I hung out with him a couple times. He's a lot of fun. And you can tell he's always working an angle. He's trying to figure out how he can get in your pocket. But, he was always cool to me. We actually texted for a while. He kept up when I was playing and stuff and was a nice guy. But from all my experiences. But I just think he's just a, modern day hustler.
He's just a hustler.
I think he raced some guy in a parking deck or something.
He raced the NFL cornerback running backwards in a 60-yard dash. But he's like, I get a 20-yard head start and I run backwards. Some crazy shit like that he was always coming up with. And the story I heard about the basketballs was it was all the reps. They were sitting there at the restaurant. He was talking his shit. He's like, hey, come to the gym. I can make 75 out of 100 threes. Yeah. And these dudes know sports, and they're like, no chance, bet, right? Go down the list. Yeah. They get there, exactly as you said. The first time he did it, right, and the same rules. You can't talk. You can't do anything. You just sit over here and watch me shoot. He made 88 or 85. Sorry, he made 85.
And I said, you can't do it again.
And he said, I'll make it this time, and I'll bank it. So I'll bank them.
Okay, so there's obviously a lot of different versions of this story. Yeah. The version I heard was it was 75 out of 100. He made the first he made 49 of 50 or something like that.
I want to see it, dude.
He goes, I tell you what, if y'all double your bet, I'll make over 80 and I'll bank the rest of them.
That could be right.
That's what he did.
That could be right. Yeah.
Which makes sense with the air.
Either way, it was the talk of the tournament the next
night. Oh, no doubt.
I've heard about this dude for forever, and I knew you were around him. But I don't care if the ball ain't flat and you just took a little bit out of it. I don't care.
I don't care.
It's still hard to do.
Yeah, it's an incredible talent. No doubt. No doubt about it.
Yeah, and he would race NFL dudes backwards.
I forgot about the
weird
one.
stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Next one, go-to karaoke song at Walt's in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh man, what is that? Me and Gore used to do it. Me and Gore would go up there and wreck karaoke at Walt's. I think it was I think I usually always sang what is it called? Dixieland Delight. I think that was my go-to. Yeah, Dixieland Delight.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my go-to.
By the way, your son, you sent me a video. The man can play some guitar.
Bro, my son can skin a guitar. Absolutely. Yeah, Alex, he plays golf. He's really good at golf. Bowls. He's an unbelievable bowler. My brother and Ron Lee make fun of me all the time because they're like, you going to a bowling match? I'm like, the guy threw a 280 last week. Yes, I'm going to a bowling match. Yes, he can bowl. Damn. It's retarded good. But yes, he can skin a guitar, man.
Didn't you tell me he's playing at Tortuga or something? Or what the hell's the name of that festival?
Colt's playing Tortuga. I think it's like second week of April or something like that. We're going, we're trying to go down there and do all that. But yeah, man, my oldest can play guitar. He plays couple of my little hangouts here in town, around town. Plays music, and he's really good, man. He and Cole probably talk more than me and Cole do. Cole helps him with writing. He's got a couple of his own songs he's written, and man, he's got a very, very cool talent that I'm hoping he wants to do something with it for sure.
He's your offspring, bro. Of course he could be talented.
Of course.
Apples don't make oranges, dude. Come on now.
I don't know about that.
You with me?
He may be too talented to be mine. Shoot.
Yeah. Don't go digging too deep into that. All right, I got a question here. I don't know the answer to, and I actually want this. You refer to yourself as an animal tamer in your Twitter bio. Give me an animal you tamed, or what is that?
So this is so great. I wish I had the video and we could put it on the screen. So from when I played in Lafayette, Louisiana, I became great friends with the Smith family down there. They own Acadiana Bottling, Matt Smith, Denny Smith, Michael Smith, Petey Smith, Mr. Dennis Smith, all the Smith clan, and then their good buddy Chad Corville, who oversees a bunch of hunting marsh down there. And so he works for the Miami Corporation. So he oversees I don't know, I'm going to guess 300,000 acres of marsh, right? So guess what they have in Louisiana? Ducks, and a bazillion of them, right? So the Smiths had this unbelievable hunting camp. I didn't know this, just kind of randomly. This is going to shock you. Met him through Chris Cox. Coxie's from Lafayette. We were playing. We would go down there and play Oakbourne on Sundays before the tournament. And one year Cox was like, "Hey, I'm gonna let you stay with one of my boys' brothers. Save your housing for the week, whatever. Cool dude, like to hang out. Good guy." Denny Smith, he's one of the best dudes ever. I wound up staying with him every year. He actually played with me in Greenville one year. The BMW was my amateur partner. One of those deals where they said, if you can bring an amateur, we'll give you a spot. And I was like, hold, please. I called Denny. I'm like, here's the deal. He goes, tell him you got a partner. Called him back. And they're like, all right, you got a spot. It was awesome. But Smith family, awesome people. So long story short, I've been going down there hunting for years, 2 or 3 times. I hadn't gone the last few years just because of my boys with sports and things. Just tough to make it work. But love the Smiths, and they have an unbelievable camp down there that's incredible. And well, one of the first times I went, they have a place called Rollover where they actually flood. It's a pasture, and they flood it. They turn the water on. It has cows out there, and the ducks come in, obviously, when they're in the fly pattern, and come in there and feed. And so one morning we were hunting, and we get done hunting. We're sitting back on the Jeep where we got everything in four-wheelers, and these cows are like, they're coming to us. Like, they're coming. And I'm in my waders, and this one is just, he ain't stopping. And Corbell's like, what you gonna do, JB? I said, I got him. And so I got a beer in one hand, and I got my strap of my waders off of this shoulder and one on this shoulder, and I put the Crocodile Dundee on it. I'm walking over there with my beer, and I give him the old turning with the old fingers like this, and he's looking at me, and all of a sudden he goes, and turns around and walks the other way, snorts and turns around and walks the other way. So they're like, guy can tame it. He's an animal tamer too. He can do it all. So they actually have it on video. So I'll have to try to get them to send it to me, and just so you have it for your own personal laughter. It's pretty funny because it goes on for.
I put the Crocodile
20 or 30 seconds long.
He just horns.
I know what you're talking about. When old Dundee put on them dogs, Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I put the Crocodile Dundee on him, and he snorted and turned around and went the other way. It was hysterical. He's like, "How'd you do that?" I said, "Blind luck."
Mm-hmm.
Oh man!
All right, I got a couple.
We could tell stories for.
Oh, I know.
I'm sure
we got a
you
few
have
more to
one
get to.
Go-to on there that you have to get to. I know one you have to get to. But go ahead.
Well, maybe.
Sir.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right.
There's a couple. Your friends have texted me a couple of your sayings, which I'm very excited. I need you to break it down for us. One is about 1,700 and an umbrella. What does that mean?
Bro, that's a Coxie special. Oh, my God. We about threw up that night laughing at the blackjack table. So we're in Tunica. We're sitting here, and we're playing. We're doing good. And this fellow walks up, and, Cox, he just starts talking. And he's like, how you doing, man? The guy's like, pretty good. And me and Cox are both thumping him at the time. And he's playing like 10 a hand. And normally, we're sitting at a 5-10 table, nothing crazy, We're just trying to have some fun, and if we win $400 or $500, great. But at the time, we're thumping them. And this guy's playing 5 a hand, so you know how it is. We're bumping it. You know how we do, Junior. So we're bumping it. We got some chips out there. And he said, man, y'all should have entered some of them blackjack tournaments. I looked at Cox, and he looked at me, and we're kind of smiling. And he said, and I said, what'd you say? He said, y'all should enter some of them, come up here and play in them blackjack tournaments. I said, what's the blackjack tournament? And he said, oh man, you come up here and you pay so much money, and you get chips. And then if you win, it's a blackjack tournament. So you just get chips. And it don't count towards what you win, but you just get your chip. And then you keep playing, and then the more chips you rack up, then at the end, they put you at the table with like 3 or 4 of you, and then you play, and then when it ends, whoever got the most chips, that's who win all the money. I said, oh, okay, I got you. So Coxie said, you ever play in any of them? He said, oh, yeah, I play in them blackjack tournaments all the time. He said, really? He said, you ever do any good? And he said, oh, yeah. He said, I finished pretty good one time. And Cox said, well, right before that, Cox said, well, what do you win if you win? He said, oh, I think you win like $6,000 or $8,000. And Cox said, oh, okay. He said, you ever done any good in them? He said, yeah, I think I finished third one time. And Cox said, really? What'd that pay? He said, I think it was something like 2,700 and an umbrella. And he lost it. Like, he just dug 2,700 and an umbrella out of thin air and went, yep, that's what I won. I mean, it was like,
that's what
where did you come up with that? Umbrella. 2,700 and an umbrella. To this day.
I'm sold. I'm playing the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Say no more.
Oh, yeah. My old Dirk that caddied for me, that's what he still always would say. That. He'd say, hey, do we need the umbrella today? I'm like, I don't think we need the umbrella today. But, yeah, 2,700 and an umbrella.
All right, the next quote. Don't worry about the mule. Load the damn wagon.
Yes,
sir. That's a good one.
That's good.
That's a takeoff of a Ron Lee quote where Ron Lee says, don't worry about the mule going blind. Is what Mom Lee says. Basically saying we just gonna do work. Load the wagon. We're gonna do work. Basically, that's
what you said when you were going up and down the range, betting everyone.
Yeah, and you're all banged up still. He's
That's
don't
exactly
worry about the mule loading that wagon.
Great
I said, don't,
Okay, that's
don't
good. I like
worry
that
about
one.
the mule. Just load the wagon, Megan. That's what I said.
That's good. We got to steal that.
That's good.
We're gonna start using that. We'll credit you.
Hey, and I think Coxie started saying, "Megan, I think you got the wagon full at this point."
Yeah, wagon can't go. It's too heavy.
No.
All right, I'll give you mine.
Not at all.
This is my last one. This might be the story you're talking about, but give us the Kenny Perry story.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming. You knew
Yeah.
it was coming. We gotta hear it.
It's good. So
It is.
I'll give the start real quick to help it go because you qualified for the Honda
First tour event.
yep.
and you get a practice round set up with Blake Adams
Yep.
and Kenny Perry and somebody else. And then y'all were on
Boo
the green
Cephas,
hanging
weekly.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, Boo Weekly. There you go.
Even better.
Yeah. So I got to tell a little bit of the preface before this to set it up. So I get in, obviously, go and Boo and Blake are like, hey, just stay with us, whatever. They're staying at PGA National. They both have their card that year. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. I'm like, get a rollaway. Well, they don't have a rollaway. Boo's like, you can sleep in my bed. I'll sleep on the floor. My back's hurt anyway, blah, blah, blah. So I pull in my Tahoe that's got 493,000 miles on it, barely gets in there, and I got Boo Weekly and Blake Adams unloading my clothes and golf clubs and all this. People are trying to get pictures with Boo, trying to get him to sign autographs. And he's like, I got to get my boy's stuff. He just moneyed in. We got to get him set up, get up to the room. I'll be back down in a little bit. I'll come take some pictures with y'all. But I got to take care of my boy. I mean, that's typical Boo, right? I mean, that's just him. That's just how good he is. But anyway, cut to the chase. We wind up playing practice round, get out there. Kenny finds us that night we're in there in the lounge having a beer. Comes by, what are y'all doing tomorrow? They introduced me to him. Hey, we're going to play. All right, like 12 o'clock. So we go play, throw up balls. It's me and I think it's me and Kenny against Boo and Blake. No, it might have been me and Blake versus them two. That doesn't matter. So we're playing, having a good time. Kenny was awesome. Picking his brain. He's telling me, hit it here, never hit it here. Just couldn't have been nicer. And so we're going around there. Well, we get to 17, bear trap. Last part of the bear trap. And I have no idea why I said this. But we hit our shots. We're walking down on the green. We get walking up on the green. Blake's in the bunker and Boo's over to the right. And we were talking about different stuff, about golf tournaments and this and that. And I don't know why, but for some reason I said, when you won that Masters, I sure was for you. And he goes, ha! So now I'm like, my feelings are hurt. And he takes about 10 more steps. And as he's saying it, I look to my left and I can't see Blake anymore. He's in the bunker. He's gone. He's on the ground in the bunker. Boo is spitting tobacco juice on the green on 17, already dying. And he says, kid, I didn't win the Masters. I lost to Angel Cabrera in the playoff. And I was like, mother. I'm just like, oh my God. Dude, I wanted to climb in the hole and stay there or get in the pond I want to be done. I scooped my balls up and walked to 18T. They're all just hysterically crying, laughing at me. And I'm just like, God, where do I go? Can I just walk in? I'll just figure this hole out Thursday. I don't care. It's a par 5. Who cares? I'm just dying. I'm dying, right? So we get done. So we play 18. And I think I duck hooked it in that water left on 18 that's not even in play. I was so shook. I hook it in that water. I think I go down there, just drop a tap in, whatever. And they're still laughing. And so we get done. I'm like, I'm so sorry. He's like, don't worry about it. It's all good. He's laughing too, And I'm like, I feel terrible. He's like, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. No big deal. So I think that's the end of it, right? So nothing else happens. That day, we go practice, whatever. Well, I shoot 78 the first day. It's blowing 100. I shoot 68 the second day, make the color number. I shoot 68 the third day and go from like 68 to 30th. It's blowing 100 again, all coming out of the north. And so I'm on the putting green after I get done. And he was playing pretty good. So I'm on the putting green Saturday after I get done hitting some putts. Justin's caddying for him at the time, his son, great kid. And I'm sitting there hitting these putts. You know how you can just feel somebody like get in your little area, and I'm sitting there hitting these putts. And all of a sudden I hear this. Justin, I kind of forgot about losing that Masters till old Broadaway brought it up on Tuesday. And, dude, I just stunk like this. And he grabs me by the shoulders. He's like, good playing today, and just started cutting up with me. But I was like, I'm still so sorry. And he's like, dude, please stop it. He said, it's fine, But to this day,
at least
somebody will start talking about the Masters on Twitter. And if I comment, Blake, Justin, Boo, anybody in that crew or people that know that story will be like, is that year Kenny Perry won the Masters? I'm just like, it's a good one.
At least you did it to the nicest guy on the planet.
That's what Blake said.
Way worse.
Yeah. Blake was like, bro, if there was one person you could do that to, it was Kenny Perry. And he just, he laughed it off, man. Talk about an awesome guy. He was super cool. Yeah. So for sure.
All right. Last one. Has a blackjack dealer ever solely been the reason to dig you out of a hole in a casino?
That is a 1,000% yes. So
obviously, let's not name the casino.
Yes, we won't. We wouldn't. I don't think he works there anymore. Anyway, but yes. So we're in a town that has a casino. We'll just go with that. Not that it really matters, but anyway. And we're playing, and it wasn't that bad, but then it was so bad that you know how it is. I've seen you do it, Junior. You're like, this has got to turn at some point. Let's just keep going. We just got to. We can't. It can't stay this way all night. It's just math. Exactly. Yeah. It's gonna turn. We just have to be here for it, right? So we're playing. It's getting late, and I'm just getting loser. You're tying every 20. You're tying every blackjack. I mean, it's just brutal. Well, Blake texted me about this, and I was like, he thought it was in a shoe game. It wasn't in a shoe game, though. It was in a pitch game. And 2-deck pitch. And I had actually known this guy. I had played with him. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. Blake said, no, go with the shoe. It'll sound better. I'm like, I'm not just going to lie about it. It was a pitch game. So, and I'd played with this guy for probably 4 or 5 years. And, but cool guy, whatever. And I'm playing. And I'm like, man, I just need one good run. He's like, no, you just need one hand. He says it. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you just need one hand. And I'm like, okay. And I got I think I'm hooked 1,800 or something. And I got, nothing crazy, but I got I have 950 on the table or something around there or whatever. So whatever I win, it's going to get me close, but not, it's going to basically cut me in half what I'm getting beat. And which at this point I'm taking, right? Because it isn't turning. And I'm like, so I'm just watching him. And he's like, just wait. So I'm betting, and it's a 25 minimum. I'm betting 25, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. We shuffle. So he's like, as he's shuffling, he's kind of looking, he's doing his thing. He's just shuffling. He's like, bet it on the first hand. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yes. I'm like, he goes, but you have to color up. I'm like, all right. Sure enough, so I bet it all. I think it's 850, 875. Pitch. They deal them down, and they turn their first card up, right? Well, what's he deal himself? An ace. And I'm like, oh, my God. He's like, it's going to be all right. Because when he deals an ace, what does he have to do? Ask for insurance, right? Do you want insurance?
Yeah.
So I look at mine. I turn mine over. I have blackjack. So I take even money, obviously. I get my money, color up, gone. So he dealt it to me and him. So kind of, I'm guessing to throw off the suspicion.
Can't question that.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So He dealt it to himself and to me. But it was unbelievable. I colored up. I was like, thanks, bro. He's like, you always been good to me. All good. And we left. Wow. And I was like, holy God. And I tell people that story, and everybody's like, that ain't true. I'm like, my boy Black Adam sat right there and watched it happen. He was like, we were walking.
Pitch game, it makes way more sense.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. At the beginning.
In the shoe.
And that means there's one good person dealer in the world. Because I've run into zero. There's one with a heart out
For
there.
those of you listening on audio, that was Sleaze that said that.
Yeah, I'll say it.
I'm Colt. I love all you dealers.
They're cold-blooded. They're killers. They take everything, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
There's one nice one out there.
Well,
No
JB,
doubt.
man, it's
No
been
doubt.
great to catch up. We got to get you out to Scottsdale and do this in person because
Man.
we have like 7 more episodes of stories we could get to.
Man, I had a couple I wanted to tell, but yeah, we can do that, man. I'd love to come out and hang, play some golf for a few days, and then we could do them, man. That'd be cool. Y'all just name the time. I'll be there.
You got it, my
We'll
man.
run
Thank
the
you so
sequel.
much.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. See y'all.
All right, well, that was the beauty, Josh Broadaway. The man, he's tough to describe, but he's one of my favorites. So much fun sitting down with him.
Unique. One of a kind. It's great having all the big name guys on. We get a lot of them in here. That's awesome. It's also really fun to go to like the mini tour, Corn Ferry, the grinders, because they got some stories that they don't take place out there on the big show. You can only get that, pick up at the Y, the Augusta stories, all that. Like they don't happen when you're flying around private.
No, they do not. God, I love the guy. Super talented too. Had a good chance to get his PGA Tour card there several years back, but I figured everybody would like this one. He's a character.
Yeah, we got to cover the whole spectrum. I love those. I love those interviews.
All right, well, let's get to some gambling. It is time for the Mexico Open at Vedanta. Not the strongest field in the world. Only got 8 of the top 100, but the number one man, Jon Rahm, going down to defend along with Tony Finau, Gary Woodland, Wyndham Clark, some of the favorites. It's going to be a little tough one. Rahm's going off at FanDuel anywhere around plus 240
Minus
to 280.
1,000.
No big deal,
Yeah.
just even money.
Yeah.
All right, so tee it up on FanDuel this PGA Tour season. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. So we got top 20s, top 10s, outright head-to-head matchups, whatever you want. And the best thing is it is super easy to use. And if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there is no better time to get in on the golf action. And when you win, you get paid instantly. So aim for some green and bet on the PGA Tour. Go to FanDuel.com/subpar and sign up. That's FanDuel.com/subpar to get a $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. FanDuel is the official betting operator of the PGA Tour. Like I said, not the strongest field in the world.
Good opportunity for some folks.
This is
Where are you going?
I'm going to go with my guy right here.
Okay.
This golf course, I was there last year. It gives you plenty of room off the tee. There's about 2 tee shots that'll really make you pucker a little bit. 24 to 1. You can't bet Jon Rahm what the odds are. So I'm going down just a little bit. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster in 2023, but the golf course should set up very well for him. 24 to 1, Gary Woodland.
G-Dub. Step on up. I love it. I'm going to stick with the same kind of trend that you are. We were speaking with Rahm about going down there. He's talking about the golf course. Sounds like Bomber's paradise.
Fact.
So I'm going to stick with that trend. It's going to feel like a little bit of favoritism, but it's time for me to pick my son. It's time for him to show up and do what the world's been waiting on. He's been close. Wyndham Clark, come on down. 19 to 1, okay? Top 6 in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's been trending. He's up there pretty high on the odds list this week. He made a putter change recently. Seems to be working out well for him. And this golf course, I mean, when he wants to hit it, there's not many that can hit it past him. And if you give him a ton of space out there, I think this is tailor-made for him. He's trending nicely. And it's a good time for the family to get a dub.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with his partner from New Orleans. This is my dark horse.
Love it.
Going off at 50 to 1. Superstar in college. Been knocking on the door on the PGA Tour. Him and Wyndham definitely could have got the job done last week in New Orleans. I'm going the Bo Show. Our best dressed guest, Bo Hostler at 50 to 1.
He's showing up nice in that Michael Kors, ain't he?
Model.
Kid's turned into a model, lost a bunch of weight. He's got the visor on out there. We had a couple visors late in that ball game this past week. Love to see it. For my dark horse, I feel like almost the whole field's a dark horse after Tony and John, but I'm going down there to 65 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Staying with my blueprint. Just give me guys that ship it around this entire place. Who better than Luke List? Moves the ball out there. Should be hitting a lot of wedges, a lot of shorties in there. If he can get that putter going, I think this is a good golf course for him. 65 to 1, Luke List. Let's go.
All right. Well, make sure you go to FanDuel.com/subpar and sign up to get those free bonus bets. FanDuel, official betting operator of the PGA Tour. Must be 21 years and older and present in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hope is here. Gambling helpline ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369 in New York. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, or Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, or www.mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming, or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia. That's going to do it for us. Everyone have a great week, and we'll talk to you on the next Golf Subpar.